night is cold, unforgiving, just like I have become. I sit in these hills waiting for him to come out, the man, the monster, and at one time, my friend. Reach. I think he fancies himself a general now, but we were brothers in a time forever lost. Our special forces team had its funding cut, and well, we all went our own ways. I'd stowed enough away over the years I bought myself a small farm on a remote island. Then it hit. It started out like a flu, passing from person to person. The governments assured the people they had it under control. That is until the fourth mutation hit. It killed great numbers of people. The only thing is, they didn't stay dead. A few hours after they expired, the bodies would twitch and have spasms. Then the eyes would open. Oh, the hunger in those eyes. Those of us still alive had to do unspeakable horrors to the ones we once loved. My own wife got it. I had to bury Becky twice. So, how does that bring us to tonight? And me, sitting here in the dark with a gun in my hand? Well, I'll tell you my story. I was still grieving the loss of my wife, and I heard the distant sound of a helicopter. Only two things that could mean. The government needed me. Not likely. They weren't around here anymore. Or Reach needed me. I was right with the latter one. We split after the team was decommissioned. I had heard he turned to mercenary work, and that he'd gotten cold and ruthless. I told him to cut to the chase. I couldn't even face him. He told me the new world was ripe for taking. Survivors, well, they needed order and discipline, and we could bring it to them. At a cost, of course. He just needed a few more friends, like me. Sparrow had joined him, as did Ramiao from our old crew. Our vehicle specialist, Dev Junkie, he was still MIA. I was quiet, and I think he mistook this for me thinking it over. I wasn't. I was trying to think of how to tell him that the people in these fractured isles had gone through enough. That what they needed was compassion and a helping hand. You could almost feel the smile fade from his face, when all I said was, "No, I will not be your dog." He told me if I wasn't with them, then he couldn't have a loose cannon like me out here. As I turned around, a cannon seemed to explode in my head. Darkness. I was engulfed in darkness and silence. It was okay. I was ready to die. This world was full of pain and hurt for me. I could just drift off and... Pain. I felt pain. Heat. So intense it could only be hell. But then I opened my eyes. The world around me burned. All that Becky and I had built was being destroyed. It was beyond saving. I fled the island and went to the old pillow factory down the highway. I had a stash of my old working gear there and some much-needed supplies. The plants in the greenhouse had sprouted and flourished in this world. I knew what needed to be done. I wasn't going to go help Reach. I'd help the people instead. On my way to drop much-needed medical supplies and food off at a community marketplace, I saw the true nature of Reach and his thugs. A priest, still preaching the good word, was trying to get the marketplace and deliver some food to the orphans' drop box. The Federation, as they called themselves, held him at gunpoint, stole the provisions for the orphans to use themselves. I was thankful that they let him go, bruised but still alive. After they left, I met with the father and asked for a blessing. I would need whatever helping hand I could get to help guide me through this valley of death I must bring. Scott was his name, Father Scott. I left him with what supplies I wouldn't need and headed down the road. He called to me, asked me what my name was. I told him it was something else for a while, but now I am just Lunatar. He told me that he knows I must be the angel of death now, but once the deeds are done, there'll always be room in his church for me. I told him I'd see him Sunday. We both knew I wasn't coming back. This was my last mission, one last Hail Mary for the side of good. I hoped with this one shot, the Federation would fall. And that brings us to this moment. Reach always comes out to the grass. I guess he really likes the grass. And he eats a Twinkie under the starlight. This would be his last Twinkie.